My name is Mark Denver. I'm the Rope Access Technical Authority for Pendrick Heights Services, one of the PTSG group companies. So I oversee all of the rope access operations for the business, and I have a role in health and safety management within the business as well. So with No Falls Week, one of the big things that we're emphasizing is trying to minimize or prevent falls from happening. Rope access is a very safe method of working at height, and for most people from the outside looking in, it looks quite hazardous to see people dangling on a rope on a high-rise in the city centre. But with the safe systems of work that we have in place, it's been proven year on year to be one of the safest methods of working at height across all industries. So rope access is simply using ropes and other techniques that were borrowed from the rock climbing community and the caving community in order to access difficult areas to carry out tasks at height that you might not be able to carry out with scaffold or other methods. So one of the key elements of the practicalities of the safe system of work is it's a two-rope system. So we've got two anchors selected, we've got ropes connected to those anchors so that we've got a working line and a safety line. One device is in position to get us where we need to be to do the work, and a second device there as a backup in the event that either the anchor, the rope, or the device fails. So with the anchor system as well, an additional level of safety we create is by taking the two anchor points, and rather than just having a rope on one and a rope on the other, we're going to load share the two. Because if I had one on each anchor point and the anchor point failed, I'm subjecting myself to a potential fall where I'm going to have to be caught by a fall arrest device. By load sharing between the two, if one anchor bolt was to fail on me, there's just going to be a slight adjustment as the other anchor takes the load in, so there's no real fall occurring. So wherever we can avoid falls, we're going to do that. So additionally, whenever we're working at height, we'll always be looking at rescue and what would happen in the worst case scenario that the technician becomes unconscious for some reason on the ropes themselves. So a level of safety we can introduce there is by rigging the ropes releasable, and we call this rig for rescue. And this simply means having descending devices that the ropes are anchored into, so that if that worker is ever incapacitated on the ropes, I don't have to put another technician at risk to get on the ropes to rescue. Instead, I just have to get to those descending devices and lower that injured worker down safely to the deck below. So the two main bits of kit that allows us to do this work is a descending device that allows us to move down the rope, and then ascending device on the chest, and also a hand ascender that allows us to climb up the rope. So those are on the working line. On the safety line, we've got a mobile fall arrestor that travels up and down the rope with that technician, so there's no need to get your hands on it or to manipulate it. It just follows you wherever you go. It's got an integral shock absorber that ensures that if we do have a fall, in that unlikely instance, the forces are kept very low on the system and on the technician themselves. So like any system, the chain is only as strong as its weakest link, and for us, the rope is very vulnerable. It's vulnerable to sharp edges, to abrasion, to heat, so we need to put things in place to protect those ropes wherever possible. So there's a number of different devices we can use. The most common one is the inline rope protector. It's just a wraparound canvas with Velcro that you fix in place where there's any abrasion points that might cause damage to that rope. Now, these aren't generally designed to be used over a 90-degree edge where there's a lot more pressure and a lot more cutting action potentially. So there are specific devices that we'll utilize on those 90-degree edges. With any of these bits of kit, it's really important to look at the manufacturer's instructions and see what they recommend that piece of equipment is used for, because they're all different. So while that was just a very brief window into what you can do with rope access, there are a number of different techniques that can be used. The key throughout all of these operations is that we're following the absolute highest standard possible, and the IRATA standard is the highest global standard. And as a business, we follow that highest standard, and we encourage that with our teams on site to make sure that everything we do is the safest way possible, so that all of our technicians can get home safely to their family every day.